In 2016, in Texas City, Texas, there was an 18-year-old girl named Brandy Val. Brandy Val was your average student and loving person. Her family cared about her very much, and her friends also cared about her. But Brandy Val was being bullied for months by people from her school and people that she didn't know. Brandy had brought it to her parents, which had then taken it to the police and to the schools, where they were told that they couldn't do anything about it because the phone was untraceable. Most of the bullying was aimed towards Brandy's way and the way she looked. Most of the bullying was aimed towards Brandy's weight, and this caused her to be very upset about her weight and caused her to have an eating disorder. They also took pictures of her and off of her social media and made a website saying that she was selling her body when she really wasn't, and she even brought this to the police, and they were told again that they couldn't do anything about it because it was untraceable. After months of being relentlessly bullied, she texted her family saying that she loved them, but she just couldn't handle it anymore. Her family rushed home to see what she was doing, and they came home to see her with a gun to her chest. They tried to get her to put it down, but she didn't, and sadly, she shot herself in her chest in front of her family, according to CBS News. Cyberbullying should never lead to suicide, and it should definitely be taken more seriously by the schools and by the police. 59% of U.S. teens have been bullied or harassed online. That is more than half. I personally have been bullied. I've had people slide up on my Snapchat or Instagram stories saying rude things about the way I look, about the way I dress, my height, basically anything hurtful to try to get me to feel bad about myself. Not only can it affect your mental health and make you feel bad about yourself, it is also very illegal. All U.S. 50 states have laws against cyberbullying. According to Michigan legislator, if you get in trouble for cyberbullying someone, you can get issued a misdemeanor and no more than 93 days in jail or a fine of no more than $500. People say that this isn't really a big deal and that they just need to tough it up. This affects your mental, emotional, and physical health as well as your behavior. This isn't going to stop, and I believe that the schools and the police should be taking more precautions and helping students with this before it is too late. The first reason is mental health. According to youth charity Ditch the Label, 41% of social anxiety is caused by cyberbullying. Social anxiety is when you feel stressed or anxious in a large or small group of people. When you're in class, this is very stressful when you have social anxiety because you're in class with people. Cyberbullying has also been known to worsen or cause depression and has made depression 10 times worse, according to CBS News. According to the Broadband, 37% associate depression with cyberbullying, and that is way more than it ever should be for something that we can handle. It also causes low self-esteem in students. It can be based off their looks, how they act, anything that causes them to feel bad about themselves and have low self-esteem. According to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, 13.6 of people being cyberbullied made an attempt to commit suicide or committed suicide. This is simply way too high when they should never be forced to commit suicide or even think about committing suicide when we have people they can talk to or they can actually go talk to somebody and get help from people. But just talking to someone doesn't stop it from happening or continuing, and that's why I believe that schools and governments should be taking and should be paying more attention to cyberbullying. Another reason is it affects your emotional and physical health. People are more likely to be humiliated and feel exposed if you are being cyberbullied. They also tend to isolate themselves and their loved ones and pull away from sports and clubs that they enjoy and love having to do with friends. It also causes problems with sleep. According to the National Library of Medicine, 95% of people who have been cyberbullied associate it with sleep problems and have caused them to lose sleep or for their sleep schedules to be changed. It also causes people to have eating disorders. Like in Brandy Val's case, most of her bullying was aimed towards her weight. This caused her to have an eating disorder, but this isn't just true in Brandy's case. According to the National Eating Disorder Association, 65% say that cyberbullying has caused an eating disorder or it has made an existing eating disorder worse. People just say that they just need to toughen up because people have been dealing with this forever, but why should they have to toughen up when we are fully capable of helping them? My third reason is it affects your behavior. One way it affects your behavior is that teens are more likely to use or abuse drugs, skip school, and have violence or anger. Teens are 2.5 more likely to abuse drugs or alcohol, according to Very Well Family. Teens are turning towards drugs and alcohol instead of talking to people because they feel like they don't have anyone there and they don't feel supported. They're also more likely to skip class to avoid being judged by their peers, and if they have a bully in that class, they are more likely to skip that class to avoid the bully. This has caused grades to drop. Students that were an amazing A and B student could be dropping to C's or failing classes entirely. This is not what you want because we want all of the students in all schools to graduate with successful high grades. 65% of students say that cyberbullying has impacted their ability to learn, according to cyberbullying research. This is way too high when we can simply just help them and let them talk to them and talk to the government and the police about having stricter restrictions and paying more attention to cyberbullying. What you say to somebody sticks with them. No matter if it's online or in person, if you say something to somebody hurtful or not hurtful, it will stick with them forever, no matter what you say. The solution for this? I think it should be talked about more by schools and teachers and the government. It should be brought more into the light and not just ignored and thrown aside and told to deal with it. Schools should be required to talk to students about it and help them through cyberbullying if they have it. And they should be able to have somebody to talk to in the school about cyberbullying. Government should also take on a bigger role and force to look and find people who are being cyberbullied, looking for websites that say if somebody is selling their body when they're not, like in Brandy Bell's case. The government should just take a bigger role and pay more attention. And if a student does come to them about stuff like the websites, they should try their hardest to find it and not just tell them it is untraceable. Conclusion. This is largely affecting our generation, with more than half of our generation being cyberbullied. This affects your mental health with anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, and suicide. It also affects your emotional and physical health with humiliation, isolation, sleep disturbances, and may cause eating disorders. Also, behavioral problems, like using or abusing drugs, skipping school, or practice. People just may say that teens and people need to have thicker skin, but why should they have thicker skin when we are fully capable of helping our students and helping teens going through cyberbullying? Governments and schools should be required to help our teens, and I believe that with the help of governments and schools, this issue could be solved. Now with my speech coming to the end, I push all of you to go talk to your school and local government about talking about cyberbullying and bringing it more into the light. Thank you.